Okay, so I guess we'll get started now. Sam, are you ready?
Let's go. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. So this event is going to be recorded, just so that you know. My name is Sam Kaiser. You can call me Samantha, or in this chat if you want to direct a specific question to me, just so it's easier. I'm in the Math CPA program, going into my 3A term this fall. A fun fact about me is that I can say the alphabet backwards. I'm not gonna do it now because now there's like pressure, but honor system, I can do it.
Hi, guys. Same. I'm Sam. Mostly math CPA, but I'm 1 year older than Sam Kaiser. I'm going to my last term of school. So next will be my final term of school, which is 4B. So pretty much I know everything about the program. Feel free to shoot the questions. A fun fact about me is I trade actively in the market, and one of the things I did was I turned $100 to 1,000 in 1 day. That's the fun fact. Thank you.
All right, so please send in your questions in the Q&A here, and we'll be sure to answer them. To start some off, there's one that is, what is the transition like from high school to university math? Something that I found was that university math is much more abstract than what I was used to in high school. There's like a lot of things that incorporate proofs, for example, and a lot of theories instead of just plug and chug numbers. So that's something that I found was really different. And because of that, understanding the math is much more important than memorizing formulas or anything like that, because you apply them in many different ways. It's not just one way that you should know how to do it. You should understand the concepts and everything. So that was the transition there. What was like most different?
I just want to add on to what Sam Kaiser said. So the first year in Math CPA is extremely challenging, especially because you need to take 6 courses in your 1B, which is your second term, so next year winter. So it's really important that you learn your math, like foundational math courses really well. So your following university journey is going to be much easier. And also one thing to mention is that all of the math programs in math faculty have almost the same courses in the first year. So if you don't like the program, like you feel like you want to jump to CFM, you want to jump to pure math, you can do it after your first year. So it's not an issue. I know a lot of people jumped out of the program after their first year.
Yeah, our program, it's a combination between accounting and math. So some people will either want to go the all accounting way or all math way. I found that in my year. What about you, Sam?
Yeah, Sam, do you see any questions on your side? If not, maybe I can start with the general introduction of the program.
I don't have any on my side.
Okay, so guys, just let's maybe start with the general introduction of the program. So Math CPA is, as the name says, it's the math and accounting, and the program is 5 years. So you guys starting in 2021 September, right, for 4 years, and then after you finish your undergraduate, you have 8 months of master program. So that's a total 5 years. So the master program is called Master of Accounting, which requires you have 75% average and above, which most of the people can do it. So the master is actually a quoted master program because it's not like a full master. So I'm sure most of you guys know the CPA designation, which requires you to take the exam to get the designation. And before you take the exam, you actually need to take the courses and modules. So the Master of Accounting is actually a program for you to prepare those courses. Okay, so you starting in 2021 September, you're expected to finish all this program 5 years, which is 2026 August. You'll be finished everything, and then you take your exam and go to full time. And so in terms of the courses you're going to be taking during your universities, so you guys should have a list of paper. So for us math CPAs, schedule is very tight. So your courses are already scheduled. It's very tight pet because it's not offered in every academic term. Some courses are only offered in spring, some are only offered in fall, some only in winter. So most of the people just take it with the schedule. And in first and second year of the universities, you take, because you're in math, right? You take basic math courses, you take algebra, you take calculus, you take computer science, you take Atari science and statistics. That's all the basic math or quant skills you're gonna take. And then starting from your third year or starting from second year, starting taking your professional courses, your accounting, your finance, your corporate finance, and then you take whatever you want. And a lot of people they choose is that they choose to do a stats minor, which doesn't require much, which only requires to take 4 or 5 more stats courses. So a lot of people choose to do that, which really expands your career choices after you graduate. So speaking from the career choices after you graduate, so math CPA, like compared to AFMs, we have the additional math courses, which really gives you more math courses. Okay. Yeah, so basically math CPA program grants you opportunities for all kinds of jobs in business world. So you can be an accountant, right? If you want to be in finance industry, you can do that too. If you want to be a business analyst, or you want to be like an auditor or a tax analyst, you can be that too. So overall, it's a pretty good program. If your goal is to become a CPA in Canada, this is the perfect program in Waterloo. I'll say, or even in Canada, because we have the massive accounting program that grants you opportunity to take the CPA exam. Okay, so we got a question. So what was my favorite first-year courses? So first-year courses, that was a long time ago. My favorite first-year courses was a course I take in 1B, which is my second term. It's called Econ 100. So I'm not sure if you guys do have it, but that's the course specific only to math CPA. So no other program students take it. So what the course is econ or economics. But the special part of this course is that so in University of Waterloo, we have 2 basic econ courses, Econ 101 and Econ 102. One for microeconomics, one for macroeconomics. But Econ 100 is a combination of the 2, right? So you have the choice of taking those 2 courses, or you only take this one. So the part that I love this course is that it's challenging, but it really gives you more knowledge compared to studying Econ 101 and 102. How about you, okay, sir? What's your favorite courses?
Econ 100 is a good one too. One of the reasons why is because since it's only for our program, it felt like a nice little community just in the whole class. Like everyone's in the same program. Like if you didn't have a chance to meet everyone, everyone's in the same room and you're all in the same spot pretty much because you're all in the same program. Usually our program's pretty small, which makes it nice. Another one that I really liked was in 1A, Calculus 1, Math 137. I had Professor Jordan Hamilton, and he was just such an amazing prof that the course was really enjoyable. The concepts were a bit difficult because it was like one of my first math courses that weren't from like high school. But because of the right prof that was teaching it, it was really enjoyable. So I would say that one too. I have a question here that says, how can I find a work-life balance at UW? So I would say your time management is really key here. That question will always be brought up, whether you think you're balancing your life or not. You have to keep in mind that you are in school, so you still have to do your schoolwork. Like make sure you're keeping up with your courses and everything. Plan your time, especially like online. If like you don't have a given schedule, like they're not live classes, like make your own so that you stick to it. To make friends and even just like for your work-life balance, like join extracurriculars. Like they can be academic clubs, like math sock clubs, for example, or they can be like other things like the cheese club, like if you just like cheese. Like there's a bunch of other stuff out there that you can join that will help you de-stress as well. If you like fitness, make sure you book time in your schedule to like take a break and like do things that you enjoy. I, for one, I haven't mastered this. I do extracurriculars. I do well with my academics, but like my social life with friends, I personally can work on that because I haven't scheduled that time in per se into my calendar. So that would be my recommendation is just to like have your schedule and make sure everything there is like block block off time for yourself. Sam, anything?
Yeah, University Waterloo is the school in Canada that notoriously doesn't have work-life balance. I'm just joking. Okay, the primary reason is that majority of the schools, like the U of T's or York or other schools, um, with all the co-op programs, they only have academic term between September to the next year, May or even April, and they have the spring off. But for us, you are studying and working and studying and working and studying and working until graduation. So, but you might have like a week or so break during each of the terms. So to maintain your work-life balances, my only recommendation will be to study as early as possible and finish your work as early as possible so you have time to enjoy. And the most important thing is, which is one thing I really regret, is don't only study, but also do something else. Say, go into a club, like say, if you're really into accounting, you can go to University Waterloo Accounting Council, UWAC, or you're really into finance, you can go to AFSA, Accounting Finance Student Association. There's a lot of things you can do. And build your connections and play with friends. And also, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the chat. So I got a question here. So what have your co-op terms been like? How have you enjoyed them? So for me myself, I did my co-op terms at 2 firms. So I just want to mention that Math CPA, you have 4 co-op terms, and you have 2 or 3 sequences. By sequences, I mean, say you want to work in fall, do it. You don't want to, you can work in winter, you can switch them. In studying fall, work in winter, or you can switch. So for my 4 co-op terms, for my first one, I did at a small accounting firms for tax. I really don't like it. It's primarily because the working environment, so let's pass that. But for the rest of my programs, I did in accounting firms for auditing. I really love auditing, which majority of you guys might be interested. Pretty much, you just help those public companies to look at their financial statements, see if they are fairly presented. So, how about you, Sam Kish? How about your co-op terms?
I've only had one. That was this past January to April, and my first one was all online, so I only have experience with that. I did audit at PwC, so it's a bigger accounting firm that you guys may know. I personally really enjoyed it. It was really different because it was very stressful because it was busy season, but I really enjoyed the environment and like learning hands-on was really fun because you feel like the new knowledge that you get because like as you keep going throughout the months you don't have the same questions like you have more knowledge that you can bring to the table for each client, for example. So I really liked it. Another question here. Looking back, is there anything you wish you had known when starting university?
Oh,
Ooh, hmm. I
okay.
wish you want to take it?
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of things. So uh, there's a lot of regrets. So a few recommendations I can give is number one, if you search your Waterloo event calendar, you're gonna see a lot of big companies, say PepsiCo, Big Four, or those consulting firms. They're gonna have networking sessions on campus. I'm not sure if this is offered because of COVID, but if they do, or if they switch to online, make sure you participate then, because when you just enter university, while you don't have much intern experiences, networking session will be a great way for you, like a break point for you to get into those firms, like know those people, add their LinkedIn, switch their business card and stuff. And second thing is, as I already mentioned, join a club or a student association. So it's not only about your hobby, okay? It's more about you networking, you know more people. And also, one thing really worth pointing out is a lot of those student associations, they have connections with the big firms. So if you're that kind of person eager to join Big Four or consulting or big hedge fund, you joining one of those student associations will be a big help for you. But it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's still worth to do it, which is one thing I wish I had known when I started university. And third point is, I guess, talk to your professor more, know your professor better. Say when you graduate at your university from your university, and you don't want to do the Master of Accounting, you feel that's not the type for you. You want to do some kind of other master, which requires you to reference letters, right, from professors. So at that point, you will wish you have known the professor better, right? Like do something with the professor or join a student association, which might do a lot of activities with the professors. That's always the thing. And last and most importantly, the one thing important is to always watch your GPAs. So don't let it fall too low. I know a lot of people keep saying that GPA is not important, forget about it. No, it's very important. It's the most important thing in your 5-year or 4-year university life. Yeah. So I hope this helps.
Here's one. Did you join any clubs or associations? Any recommendations? Okay, so from first year to now, I've been in different ones. I've left, I've joined. From what I can remember, right now I'm in UW UNICEF. So it's the UNICEF branch for the University of Waterloo. And what we're doing is like we're trying to raise awareness, raise money for UNICEF Canada. I recommend that if you're really passionate about making a difference in people's lives and you want to contribute to those type of causes. Another one that I am in right now, I'm helping organizing a hackathon called Technova. We just had our event a couple of days ago, actually. And that was really fun. I was on the logistics and finance team. It was a nice team of people, and it was more work than I had in other clubs and associations. I've been on the advisory board for like information systems and technology for the University of Waterloo, and that kind of just like was interesting in the terms of IT. Like I got to work with that board and just kind of discuss different things that we can do on the university to help make the lives of students and faculty easier. I was part of the Math Endowment Fund. I recommend. You get to pretty much, you're in a council and you vote on where to kind of allocate money to student projects and proposals. So that's kind of like the sum. There's probably other stuff, but I can't remember. Sam, what about you?
Oh, that's really a lot of experience. As I said, that's the one thing I regret about. So I didn't participate in any clubs or associations. But
Were there
as a
were there any
recommendation,
that caught your mind?
yeah, as recommendations, I would say it really depends on your career goals or your interest. So if you're interested in accounting, right, UW, University Waterloo Accounting Association, Council, UWAC, UWAC. If you're really into finance, there's a club named Hedge, so hedge fund, the hedge for hedge fund. And if you're really into consulting, you want to be a consultant. There's also a club named ACE, ACE. So it's a bunch of people passionate about consulting. They do a lot of strategy business cases and things like that. So it really depends on where you want to go in the future and target the specific student associations you want.
A very big one that's within the School of Accounting and Finance is AFSA, AFSA. A lot of people in the accounting and finance, financial management program and the Mass CPA program go into that one because there's a lot of different branches. That's just something to note there.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that there's two more specific to us, like Mass CPAs and AFMs, it's like SEC. So when you get to your second year and third year, there is two student running funds, student investment fund and student venture fund, which you can join. It's so I tried but I failed. But if you join them, they run real money. So its professor will lead the students to learn analyzing investment choices and portfolio management and things like this and that. This is my biggest recommendation. I got a question here. What was online school be like for you? I have found it harder to motivate myself online. Do you have any tips or tricks for dealing with Zoom fatigue? How's the online school been like for me? So, the online school just become easier and harder. So, workload is much more than offline. So because say for example, when you're offline, you only have 5 assignments to turn. But when you move online, that may increase to 10. It's way easier to get your mark. So think about it, like say for a random course, when you're offline, you might have to do like 5 questions within an hour and a half. But when things move to online, they might switch the final exam format to, like say, 10 questions within 24 hours, right? That makes life much easier. So that's online schooling for me. I really feel frustrated because I'm staying alone I'm not with my family. So online school is really hard to motivate myself. I really agree with that. So any tips or tricks dealing with Zoom fatigue, I would say, is to talk to people, to network with people. So that jumps back to my recommendation before. Join those online sessions, do a Zoom video or a webcam video, talk with others, and learn more. And go out with your friends. Like even though you wear masks, but you can still hang out with friends, like 2 or 3. Yeah. So always try something different.
Oh, you cut out there for me. Wait, Sam, what did you say? You cut out.
So I was saying, do you hear me?
Yeah, it was just like the last bit. Yeah, no, I still can't hear that. Can someone say in the Q&A if they hear him and it's just me?
They can't tap anything. I can hear him.
Okay.
Yeah, Joseph is okay. Even though studying in Waterloo is a very intense environment, but from my personal experiences, I still have capacity to have fun. So yeah, so you guys will be okay.
Yeah, for me, I make schedules like all the time. I like live off my calendar. So I found that like the first term when we were all online, I was fine. Like the transition was completely smooth for me. But last term, it was absolutely rough because I was sick of it. I was so tired of online, so I had no motivation. So I had to find myself, like I had to schedule my breaks and actually follow them. Like I had alerts on my phone, like step away from the computer and like leave. Because I found myself constantly on my computer. The voice is very distorted. Whose voice?
Hello?
Hi, I'm just reading the chat.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, well, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, my microphone just cut off. Got a question here. Yeah, are all math is antisocial? I'm worried about making friends. Huh? No, not at all. There will be like one or two very antisocial. Those are the very smart guys. They are very antisocial. But majority of them are okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're antisocial. I think that's a misconception. The Math CPA program puts us in crews, uh, and that kind of forces you to make friends pretty much, and to make sure that you're not antisocial. And that one crew can honestly, like, just take you out of your shell if you are shy. There's a lot of people I know who are mathies, and they're definitely not antisocial at all. Like, they're very fun people. Um, Obviously every program's going to have the introverts and the extroverts, but all mathies are not introverts for sure.
Yeah, and even though we are all in the math program, but it doesn't mean everyone's good at math. Okay, so it's not like everyone's antisocial. Similarly, not everyone's good at math. So you guys can help together, help each other, go study math together. It's gonna be fun. And
Yeah.
especially for first years, while I was in my first year where it's all offline, I always study with my friends in the tutoring center. But now I think it's closed because of COVID. But I believe they still have some kind of thing online, which is a place you can turn for help. So I got a
Yeah.
question. If I'm having trouble with the workload or managing things, are there any places I can go for help? Yeah, like I just said. So in the first year, math CPAs, I think the schedule changed a little bit, but it's pretty much the same. So your first term, you take two math courses, Math 135, linear algebra, Math 137, calculus, CS 115 or 135. You learn a special coding language named Racket. It's very trash, but specific language for Waterloo people to learn. So that's the three math courses. You also take AFM 101, so that's basic accounting. So if you took accounting courses in high school, you're gonna be fine for this course. It's pretty much all review. And then you take another course called what is it again? It's one of
One
the marketing.
132?
Yeah, it's one of the marketing course. So that will be so pretty much you take three of the more quant-like courses, and you take two accounting side courses. So the problem, like I take a guess, if you have problem managing your workload, will be the problem with math courses. Those will be much harder. So as I said, you can always turn to tutor, like TAs. I'm sure they can help, especially for first years. Yeah, otherwise you guys be fine.
I want to bring like attention to there's like something called Piazza that you guys will be using for math courses a lot. If you're having trouble with workload or have questions, like ask your questions in this platform because students, TAs, profs, they will answer your questions. Um, and that's just like a great spot to go. And maybe someone else already asked your question and it'll be there. Like just make sure that you ask questions because if you don't, your workload will just get heavier because you won't be understanding stuff and everything from unit to unit, week to week, things build upon each other. So if you don't understand something from one week, it's really important that you try to find a way to understand, ask questions, reach out because it'll come back in another week or at the final exam, for example.
Yeah, and professors also have office hours, so feel free to shoot them email. They're all good people. They will respond and schedule time for you with you to discuss the thing. Got a question here. So this is the first time I'm moving away. Kind of worried that I'm gonna get homesick. Have y'all ever gotten homesick? Oh, dude, I moved to Canada alone in 2014 from high school, and I've been here. And I moved to Toronto for high school, and then moved to Waterloo. Have I got homesick before? Of course I do. But of course, I got homesick. Yeah, and but it's a very normal thing. A lot of people have homesick. But at Waterloo, while you're busy studying, your life is very saturated. You won't have time to feel homesick. But a lot of people feel homesick. You can always make friends and talk to them, or you can talk to me. I feel you. I know how it feels when you move away from families and friends to completely new places where you know no one. I still remember the day that like I came to school in 2017 September, right? But I came here late, so the orientation already halfway through. So I wasn't able to participate, and I didn't know anyone from the orientation. It was really sucked. But I still managed to make friends and make it all the way through here, right? To my last term. So don't worry about it. You feel homesick. I know it's gonna happen, but you're gonna be fine. Just hang on, make some friends, study. It's gonna be okay. I can do it. You can do it too, right?
Was finding a place to live hard after first year? I don't think I can speak on this one because I lived off campus in my first year with my sister because she was already in upper year at Laurier, so I just roomed with her in an apartment. Um,
I know this.
so I can't say it was hard for my part.
Yeah, I know this. So was the next question, was finding a place to live harder after first year? So so my first year, I lived in a student village. Village 1 is one of the student residents. And so to answer your question, is no, it's very easy to find a place, especially in Waterloo, where you study co-op, study in co-op. Majority of the apartments are being rented out on a 4-month basis or 8-month basis, or some of them they rent for a year. They're not being nice. So just don't worry about them. A lot of people offering 4 months. So some places that I know, so not sure if you guys been to the campus yet, but there is a plaza right beside the campus, and on the east side of the campus there is 4 buildings. Burger's house, their house is called Red 1. So I used to live in there. It's very easy so the building itself only rent out for annual basis for 12 months. But like like people do co-ops, right? They study and work. So when people not living in there, they sublet their room to someone else. So you can always sublet from those people. And most of the rooms are 3 or 4 people. Some of them are 5. So you can always live with your friends there. The rent is okay. It's around, I think right now it's around 900 to 1,000 per month, all included. So not hard at all. There's also other choices. You can go to the Hub, which is a few apartments on the north side of the campus. You can also go to Key 2 or a lot of places. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, some places are like Accommodate You is one of them. There's like KW for Rent. There's like Icon. There's like a lot of different companies that have buildings around here and houses. Are there any good restaurants near campus? What are your favorites? Okay, one of my like, so I don't know if it's a restaurant because I have a sweet tooth, but like Marble Slab Creamery. I love ice cream. So that's like a go-to spot. There's a lot of bubble tea places. There's like the alley. Oh shoot, what's that one called? It's like Sweet Dreams. That's it. Sweet Dreams Tea Shop. There's that. There's Cha Time on campus too. So there's a lot of bubble tea places for sure. Um, Mel's Diner is very popular if you like the classic breakfast, for example, like nice pancakes, waffles, an omelet. Those are some iconic ones I can think of right now. What about you?
I'm not even sure if it's still open. Last time I went to those restaurants was in 2019, 2 years ago, because I started my co-op program, my co-op terms after, and then COVID hit, and I've been stuck here in downtown Toronto for 2 years. Not sure if it still opens, but if you really love Asian food, like Chinese food, Korean food, barbecue, the Plaza will be a really good place for you. Shawarma too.
Oh yeah, shawarma's good. There's a lot of good shawarma places around. What about places to eat on campus? Okay, so being a math CPA, you're gonna have classes in the math corner of campus, and you're gonna have classes across campus in Haggie Hall. Um, in the math side of campus, there's a bunch of restaurants in the DC building. So DC Bites, and there's a Tim's there too. I don't remember the name. It's in DC Bites, but I got bows a lot. That was always my go-to meal before quizzes when I was on campus. I always got the same thing every time. I recommend them. And in Haggie Hall, there's something called Liquid Assets, which their soups are delicious, which hence their name is Liquid Assets. There's also a place I had a course once in the Modern Languages building. Um, that one's called ML Diner. They have huge portions of like whatever they serve, like their pancakes are like absolutely gigantic. So you really get your money's worth there. I recommend those places. Sam?
Tim Hortons. This is my not my favorite, but it's always my first choice. It's easy and quick. Like sometimes you just don't have time to eat because the timetables you're gonna have if you go into offline, the timetables I had before was very tight. Like say you end your so so the courses might end like 11:30 and the next one may start at 11:40. It's 10 minutes break, but you have like 500 meters to walk. So it's just Team Horton is always my first choice. But if you guys feels like it, so the Student Life Center, which is at the center of the campus, is always there's a cafeteria and there's a lot of food restaurants, say burrito, or what is it called? It's called the teriyaki, like Japanese type of food. I think they opened a new bubble tea. I'm not sure. So yeah, it's always go to there for food. Pretty good and chill with your friends. And you know, like for us when we were at school, the SLC was still under construction, but now the construction is finished. It's very pretty. But unfortunately, I can't see it any longer. So you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it's like there's like a lot of food on campus. If you want to check it out, you can go to like the food services website, and it lists all the restaurants that are on campus. Another question here is, are there any profs that stood out to you over the years? First one is Jordan Hamilton. I'm telling you right now, he is he's probably one of my favorite profs so far because of how well he taught the course. Another one is Professor David Ha, and he teaches an AFM course. I think it was 132 in my first year. I don't know if you guys still take it, like if it's required or if it changed. But if you have him, he's a great prof. If you have any questions, like don't hesitate to ask him. He's very welcoming. I just had a prof this last term, Barbara Daly. She's great. She's a computer science professor. She's also very welcoming and she's very enthusiastic about the faculty and the courses. So she is on my list of like top profs up there. What about you, Sam?
I just want to add on the Jordan Hamilton Sam Kaiser mentioned was teaching calculus, math 137, which I'm pretty sure you guys will have him in your first term for the calculus course. He's really good. I strongly agree, and he's nice. He's cool. So talk to him if you have any questions. And David Ha, Sam Kaiser mentioned, I always took a course with him. He's a really nice prof. Like whenever you email him, he's always responsive. So like we always have really a lot of good profs in the universities. For me myself, which you guys gonna take the. For me myself, there's a prof named Neil, I don't remember the last name, but he teaches the AFM 476, the Advanced Corporate Finance, which you guys can take in 3B. So, or 3A, I don't remember. He's a really fun prof, you know, even though he's a CPA, but he's into finance so much, it's a very small course because it's only for CPA and CFM. So there will be like 10 or 12 students in the class. It's a very small class. You really feel the environment. So when you get to it, if he's still teaching, you guys gonna love him.
Yeah, I don't think there are any terrible profs that I've encountered. There are more difficult profs. There are more welcoming profs, but all of them do their job very well. They teach the course very well, and they're all very welcoming of questions.
Yeah,
So
just want
just
to add
remember
on.
that.
Yeah, so if you're not sure, like when you selecting your schedule, you're not sure which prof you're gonna choose, Google rate my professor and search University of Waterloo. You're gonna see the ratings for each professor. Some of them are being rated really bad. That means they are not as good as others. Okay, so it's a trustworthy website. If the rating was reliable, I can guarantee that. So the good profs will have 5 out of 5. The bad profs maybe 2 out of 5, due to various reasons. Maybe they teach really bad, their test really hard, or they're not respectful, something like that.
I've never had a disrespectful prof. I hope I don't.
Yeah, probably they are gone.
Okay.
Next question. Do you have a favorite memory from university?
Mine would have to be on campus. Was like good old days when I was only there for like a term and a half. Um, but I honestly liked staying on university campus, like for clubs, and I would get food. Like, I just loved getting the free food at clubs because it was just like, I don't know why, free food just really resonates with me. But that was always fun. Another perk of joining clubs if you're on campus, chances are there might be food. Or if you go to networking sessions, there's gonna be food there too. Um, Another one was it was actually right before everything got canceled. There was AFAO Semi. AFAO, what does that stand for? Accounting and Finance Orientation Week, which is held by AFSA. So under the School of Accounting and Finance. It was just like this big, nice formal, semi-formal event where people went to. It was fun because I got to meet like people from the Math CPA program there too, and also like I spoke with AFM people, so the other program that you're really close with in terms of courses. So that was really fun, especially since that was literally like the last day before everything went online.
Good old days. Yeah. That question feels weird because I'm still in university, but now it's saying the memories. Feels like I'm going to live. Yeah, for me, I guess. So you guys will take majority of your math courses, calculus or algebra in the mathematic composite building, MC, which is next to your student life center. So I used to study in there with my friends every day till like 2 or 3 a.m. struggling with courses. Those are very good memories. Next question. Is there fun stuff to do off campus? What the city like? The city like a village. I'm being honest with you. It's so what's the fun stuff to do off the campus? Going Waterloo. For me personally, I do entertainment. I go to Plaza for food with friends, or I go to Conestoga Mall and to shop or watch movies, and then or I go to Hot Pot. There's a very famous Hot Pot in Kitchener. It's like 10 or 20 kilometers away. It's called not sure how to name in English, but it's called 梁有记. It's a really good hot pot. People even travel from Toronto or from London to eat the hot pot. If you have a chance, uh, try it out. And and how's the city like? The city, I'll say the city is really like a village. There isn't there are not many people and there's not many buildings. You will see it when you get there. You will love it.
Yeah, if you're looking for things to do, I follow like this account on Instagram called KW Curated, and like their content is all about stuff to do in Kitchener and Waterloo. I recommend because there is a lot of stuff I did not know about, but they brought it to my attention. So you guys should check that out. I'll say it again, it's KW Curated. Okay, what's here? I have another question. Could you please give some suggestions on how to get along with professors? I heard that professors in university are really different from teachers in our previous college. Thanks. Okay. Honestly, remember that they're not just professors. Like they're humans too. These are people. They're not too scary. To get along with them, just know that if something's hard, they're not doing it to spite you. Sometimes that's just the course. So don't take that out on them personally. Don't attack them personally. Um, Treat them with respect. Like that's really important. Like that's how you can get along with them. Be authentic. Don't be fake kissing up to them. Like if you actually want to get to know your professors and get along with them, show some like genuine interest into either like the course or their lives. Like reach out to them for office hours, for example, or even if you want to email them about questions or anything. Like these little things can mean a lot to professors because a lot of times people kind of just see them as only professors, like they don't have lives outside of that. They do. They're real people, just as, for example, if they were to see you as only a student, then they wouldn't take into account that you have other things to do, for example. So that's something I would say helps to get along with professors is the respect to go with it.
Yeah, just want to add on. So same case, I was very right on it. So if you want to get better along with professors, answer questions in class, go to office hours, and get a good mark. Professors really love students who have high mark on the courses he teaches. Uh,
They like people who try. If you don't try, they're not going to try to help you because you're not putting in your own effort. So that's really important. Like you may be struggling, but as long as you're showing that you're trying, you're reaching out to do better, they know that you actually care.
right. And also, professors are not only teaching lectures. Some of the professors also run the program, or they also run the student association. Say, for example, student investment fund or venture fund I mentioned before. Those are professor helping you. So if you get into it, you will know the professor well better. So that's one of the way too. Uh, no problem. Got another question. I heard the grade dropped a lot in university. Did this happen to you? If so, how did you recover from that? It happened to me. I'll be honest with you guys. So in my first term, university, I got an average of 89.
Oh, you cut out, or at least for me.
Hello?
I
Hello?
heard you up until 89. I can hear you now.
Okay. And second term, it dropped to 86. And then that's the first year. And then second year, it drops to, it remains stable. But in the next, something happened and it dropped to 80. And so up until now, I have an average of 84. So it really dropped a lot from my very first term. How did I recover from that? I guess I just tell myself I tried. It's just my level. Accept it. But it's just my specific cases. Majority of my friends, they have very stable average, above 90, above 85 at least, above 90. Like you.
Something just to keep in mind is most of this comes from your own head. You set your own expectations of what you want to achieve. So sometimes you just kind of have to um be more realistic, and if you know that grades are supposed to drop a lot in university, like lower your expectations a bit, but still keep pushing. Um that way like your mentality won't be, oh no, like I didn't achieve my 98% from high school, for example. If you're like a really high achiever, um everyone at the end of the day graduates with the same degree. Your goal in first year and throughout university isn't to get the highest above. If that's your goal, congratulations, keep at it. But like you end with the same degree. If you want to get into Mac, you have to attain that 75%, like go beyond that. But just make sure that the grades aren't everything. Um, and at the end of the day, just remember what you're trying to achieve. And in my in my perspective, I'm trying to achieve my degree. Like I would like that. So just make sure your own mentality, if you want to set it lower, set it lower. For me, I set it lower. I went to university like, okay, grades are gonna drop. Dropped my expectation of myself by like 20%. And that kept me sane. So that's my own personal experience there.
Yeah, and also, so if you want to attend the Master of Accounting program after you finish undergrad, they require 75% average on all of the AFM courses starting from your third year, I recall. Not sure if it's correct, but I think so. So 75% is, I'll say it's a very obtainable. So don't worry about it too much. It'll be fine.
Something here. Are there fun things to do with clubs online? How can I connect with them these days? I recommend following the University of Waterloo clubs and the school accounts on like Facebook or Instagram. They always have online virtual events running. For example, MathSoc has like virtual game nights, for example. Even AFSA, like on the accounting end, under SAP, they have virtual game nights too. Depending on what extracurriculars you do, a lot of clubs do virtual game nights, virtual interactions. Some have movie nights that you can attend. A lot of clubs do things online. You just kind of have to look for them on your social media. If you have one in mind, like a club, you just kind of search their names, see what's going on. But yeah, since everything can't be on campus, all of what they would have done in person has moved online. So there's a lot of things to do that they come up with. Some of them, if they're doing fundraisers, they do online auctions, for example, if you're feeling like you want to buy something, they have those too. That's about as much I think I know for that. I'd also recommend if you have a close group of friends that can either be from high school or university, reach out to them every once in a while and be like, hey, let's have a game night online. Like I do that with some of my friends at the end of every term or the beginning. We do that just to like clear a mind of school and like make sure that we're like still in touch. I don't know if you have any ideas for that too, Sam.
Yeah, I is not a social guy at all, so not participating in any of the events. But I'm sure they will do things like what we're doing right now, like us as orientation teams, we're doing this orientation online. Those clubs will do things online too. And similarly, everything is moving online, like tutoring and things like that.
Yeah, this orientation, strongly recommend to be involved with whatever they're offering. It's a great chance to meet new people. Everyone's in the same boat. No one knows each other. They're all online, starting out first years. So don't be shy when you trying to make new friends.
Yeah. And there's still 5 minutes towards the end of the presentation. I just want to mention to you guys that as for my personal experiences, oh, I got a question here. What academic advice would you guys give to yourself 1 year ago when the pandemic started for everything being online? Those things, also things I should do for coping with online classes. Academic advice is give to myself a year ago when the pandemic started. Academic advice, I guess the most important thing when the things move to online is time management. You really have a very heavy workload when things move to online. Everything just doubled. So I guess you don't know what's gonna happen. So make sure you do everything early and properly manage your time. And remember the deadline. So it's very easy to forget the deadlines when things move to online because you're not talking with your friends from one building to another. Say the friend told you, hey, this is due today. You be like, hey, I don't know. No, that's not gonna happen. You just missed it. So make sure you remember the deadline because I missed a few. Make sure you remember the deadlines, properly manage your time, and do everything on time. Also things I should do for coping with online classes. So I see a lot of people are nervous or worried about the online learning. So I think even offline or online learning is all about you learning. So you're learning the same stuff. There's nothing different in terms of content. It's all about you. So it's all on you. So it's all about the same. Like you just put your heart in, study the things. You'll be okay. So personally speaking, I didn't change my study style at all between offline or online. Read the textbooks, do the practices, and learn the things. And maybe some kids have better advices.
I said it before, like I live off my calendar. My calendar pretty much has all my life in it. So I put all my due dates in there to make sure that I wouldn't miss anything. Something I would recommend just in case, because you guys are starting first year, hopefully you guys will be in person again throughout your academic career. Try to still learn this stuff. Don't rely on your open book tests or all these like open notes that are available to you because you're online. Because once you're in person, it's going to be another shift because you'll be used to online. So still kind of try to retain the priority that you're trying to learn, not temporarily memorize the content. That's something I wish I did at the start because now I have a few classes in person and I don't know how I'm supposed to go back to that.
Exactly that.
But yeah, you take that to heart.
You might move to offline in your third or first year. You're not gonna stay online forever, right?
Yeah.
Especially COVID like vaccination. So build a solid foundation for futures.
And then a question here, did things get easier for you after first year? Considering my first year was only one in person that turned online, it's a give and take. The courses, some of them got harder, others stayed the same. It really just depends on how much effort you put into each. You have to try for all of them. It's just a matter of what are your strengths and weaknesses to begin with, and how much effort you're willing to put into the work. My second year was fine, except for the one I just did. It was like brutal because I was too tired to do anything online. It still turned out fine, but ultimately courses get harder, but as long as you like maintain your work ethic, you should be fine. I think everything will be okay as long as you just don't procrastinate. I don't know if you have anything last to say there, Sam.
So I guess it really depends on people. Some people are just really good at math, good at statistics. So most of the people feel easier after first year because there is not much math courses. Okay? But some people feel it's harder because accounting courses is more. So it really depends on which set of things you're better at. So hope that answers your questions. And so we're reaching to 11:30. So this Q&A session is being recorded. So I think Josue will have it posted to Summer. You guys will have access to. And thanks to everyone for coming. Thank you guys for coming. So you guys can always reach out to the orientation team, or you can reach out to us for any further questions. We would love to give you guys some help here.
Yeah, you can find us on Teams or like
Got a question.
LinkedIn, for example.
Yeah, so last question before we go. Can you rank CFM courses from hardest to easiest? Haha. So CFM courses consist of two, we're talking about CFM, right? So CFM is CS, math, and finance. So CS is hardest, math second, and the finance course is the easiest. So that's pretty much it. That's from the main categories, right? So it's specific for CS. I don't know, because I'm not in the program. So you probably have to ask someone who is in CFM. But in general, CS computer science courses are much harder than other categories.
Yeah, so that would be all the questions. Like Sam said, you can reach out to us, Teams, LinkedIn. If you want to find me, it's Samantha Kaiser, Kaiser. You should see it on the screen. Yeah, don't hesitate to ask any questions. I would be glad to answer them. And I hope you guys learned some stuff here and we were able to help. So have a great rest of your day, everyone.
You guys for coming.
Bye, guys.
Bye.